Nous allons donc commencer le débat, puisqu'il était le dernier intervenant. Et je voudrais, avant que le débat n'entre dans le vif, donner la parole à M. Garcia Casas pour des raisons d'horaire. Ensuite, nous donnerons la parole également à Madame l'ambassadrice Conga.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Bonjour, buenos días. En premier lieu, remercier l'hospitalité, la vision innovatrice de Monsieur Lahlimi de nous avoir réunis ici. Je représente le secrétariat général ibéro-américain, qui est une organisation internationale composée de 22 pays, du Mexique à l'Argentine, 19 en Amérique latine et 3 autres en Europe. Et notre secrétaire général, M. Enrique Iglesias, s'était ajouté au début de ces travaux il y a 2 ans, et c'est pour ça que nous tenons à raffirmer notre attachement à la continuation de ces projets. Il nous semble que, on parlait ici dans ce domaine de problème de la sécurité, je crois que c'est un domaine où l'internalisation de nos efforts, nous travaillons très concrètement sur l'Amérique centrale. On a vu que l'amélioration de la situation de sécurité en Colombie et au Mexique a produit un balloon effet, un effet globe qui menace vraiment surtout les triangles nord de l'Amérique centrale, particulièrement le Guatemala et l'Honduras. Mais sinon, peut-être c'est un peu difficile encore de parler d'une communauté atlantique, on peut toujours parler de l'espace atlantique. Et on voit comment la crise mondiale nous fournit de possibilités de reconsidérer la gouvernance régionale et mondiale. Peut-être nous sommes plus prêts à écouter d'autres idées. Mais il faut avouer, comme le dernier intervenant disait, que l'État-nation reste toujours la structure fondamentale, que l'on vient d'une histoire d'identité, des cultures politiques rattachées à nos États-nations. Alors, ce n'est pas facile de passer à un stade du multilatéralisme efficace ou représentatif. C'est aussi difficile pour quelques pays d'accepter la montée des autres, le transfert du pouvoir qui a lieu maintenant à l'échelle mondiale. Et ce n'est pas facile non plus de passer à la convergence des agendas, à faire des travaux en commun dans nos dossiers différents. Alors, la meilleure connaissance commune, c'est celle qui nous portera à avoir des intérêts communs, de savoir comment ces projets continuent. Et il y a peut-être, on sait que cet espace atlantique peut être un espace valable dans un temps de changement, mais on n'a pas encore une structure insuffisante pour nos objectifs, et en plus, il ne faut pas être trop ambitieux au début. En reprenant seulement 3 idées, en reprenant ce que M. Borges disait hier, et je crois qu'il y a un rôle pour les organisations internationales ici. Ce n'est pas seulement le SADC, l'Afrique centrale, l'Afrique occidentale, l'Union des Maghreb arabes. Il y a de ces structures de l'autre côté de l'océan qui sont, il suffit de mentionner UNASUR, CELAC et toutes ces structures de Mercosur qui sont ces structures sous-régionales, mais j'avouerai qu'il y a une suggestion a été faite hier très importante concernant comment employer les think tanks de l'OCDE, de la Banque mondiale, le Fonds monétaire, qui peuvent nous fournir énormément de données. Et encore une petite chose, tous les membres du bassin atlantique, tous les pays membres appartiennent soit à la francophonie, soit à la Commonwealth, soit à la communauté des pays de langue portugaise, soit à la communauté ibéro-américaine. Peut-être là, il y a un espace de collaboration et peut-être on pourrait fournir, dessiner un point focal dans chaque organisation. Et seulement d'autres choses, si l'on veut, on a proposé des réseaux des technologies convergentes et on a proposé des historiens, des économistes et peut-être ajouter des membres des parlements nationaux serait intéressant pour donner une diffusion majeure. Aussi, le opinion makers, le média, et rattacher le média à cet effort et faire un peu de la publicité de ce que nous sommes en train de bâtir ici. Et en plus, et c'est mon dernier mot, et je voulais partager quelque chose. Il y a 3 semaines, on a fini le sommet ibéro-américain de chefs d'État qui cette année s'est passé à Cadiz. Et on a fait pour la première fois, on a employé le Twitter et le Facebook. On a eu 1 300 000 tweets, des réponses à ce que nous avons proposé. Peut-être, c'est présenté quelque part avec une initiative 2.0 et en ayant compte de cette instant coalition sur ces réseaux sociaux, pourrait nous donner une majeure diffusion de notre effort ici. Merci.
Merci pour votre intervention. Pour les autres intervenants, je vais donner la parole. Il suffira uniquement de lever la main. Donc je vais vous demander à l'entame de vous présenter très brièvement. Je suis un tel et je fais ça. Ça nous permet de mieux cadrer votre intervention. Je donne la parole à l'ambassadeur Ukonga.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, let me begin by expressing the thanks of the Executive Secretary of the Gulf of Guinea Commission for being invited, Mr. Bingel Provada, for being invited to this forum. He couldn't be here for reasons of previous commitments, and he has asked me, his deputy, to represent the Gulf of Guinea Commission at this very important forum. And we also have to express our thanks and gratitude to the generous and lavish hospitality of the Moroccan government. And we say thank you very much to the High Commissioner for Planning, Mr. Alimi, for having us here. Mr. Chairman, I would like to express some views on the possible new paradigms for a regional security for the Atlantic space. The Atlantic space is a very wide region that links 4 continents of Europe, the Americas, that's Latin and United States and Canada, and Africa. And it is also a region that has experienced huge interactions amongst the peoples of these continents, as it has seen millions of people from Africa transported to the continent of Europe and America. It is also an area that has seen the transformation of these erstwhile exchanges turned into mutually beneficial commercial and cultural exchanges. In this age, the 21st century, the advantages gained by certain sections of the Atlantic space have impacted both negatively and positively on the other sections of the Atlantic space. This plethora of benefits or disadvantages, depending on where you look at it, have engendered imbalance in the economic well-being of some of the populations of the area. And this has led to insecurity on both sides of the Atlantic, since human beings will always migrate to areas where they believe they can have a better living for themselves. This desire for better living conditions, if not satisfied within local and natural habitation of the affected peoples, will lead to inordinate ambition to seek greener pastures across the Atlantic. This migratory action may lead to insecurity in the receiving sections of the Atlantic, and this insecurity can be manifested in different forms. We have attacks on the commercial shipping plying the Atlantic route. They can use it. They use the region of the Atlantic to carry out illegal activities. We have mentioned it here, such as arms smuggling, drugs trafficking, trafficking of persons, modern-day slavery, be it for sexual gratification or for cheap labor purposes. The Atlantic space could also provide vast opportunities for illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, which threatens the food security and livelihood of the communities along the coasts. And many countries of the Atlantic region are also rich in hydrocarbon resources and other marine mineral resources, and therefore can be a breeding ground for theft on the high seas for such cargoes. In recent times, we have seen an increase in piracy attacks in that part of the Atlantic called the Gulf of Guinea. And unless this is greatly curbed or completely eliminated, it will definitely spread to other parts of the Atlantic. There's therefore the need to encourage measures to be adopted by the communities of the Atlantic region, especially of that part of the Atlantic that is most vulnerable. measures that will eliminate conditions that breed abject poverty and dehumanizing ways of life, measures that bring about a greater awareness of the marine domain by the governments of the region, measures that encourage inclusion of all the component parts within any country of the region, measures that will encourage joint maritime surveillance of the region, policies that encourage exchange of information amongst the navies of the region, training of more maritime patrol and personnel for navies or marine personnel of countries of the region, and a better environmental protection program so that the communities along the coast will not be deprived of the means of livelihood either by pollution or by poaching or overfishing by unauthorized, unreported, or illegal fishing. It is also important, and it has been said here both yesterday and early this morning, that there is need for a common strategy. But before we talk of a common strategy for the Atlantic region, it is important to talk of a common strategy for the different sections of the Atlantic region. And in the Gulf of Guinea region, for example, and for purposes of maritime security, the organizations of the region, that's the RECs, the Regional Economic Communities of ECOWAS, which is the Economic Community of West African States, and ECAS, which is the Economic Community of Central African States, as well as my organization, the Gulf of Guinea Commission, they are talking about adopting a common maritime strategy for the region. ECAS, for instance, has adopted a strategy that divided its zone into 4 parts. And they have managed to keep the bad guys out. But as we all know in the maritime domain, if you secure an area and the bad guys will just move to another area that is more vulnerable, that is not properly patrolled, or that is not properly secured. And that has shown that securing your part is like you have your neighbor and the house is burning, you secure your own, that fire will get to yours. So people have realized that it is important for the whole of the region to come together and adopt a common maritime strategy so that all parts of the region will be secured more or less about the same time. And this has led to discussions, and it's also in consonance with the United Nations Security Council resolutions 2018 of 2011, as well as the one they adopted in February this year, resolution 2039. And this precisely urged the countries of the region to really take up the responsibility of ensuring the security of the domain in collaboration with the international partners. They've called on them to also help. ECOWAS, ECAS, and the GGC are talking, as I said, and they are thinking of adopting a common strategy, which will include the adoption of a common multi-party accord, which will give the right of hot pursuit in the territorial waters of member states, those who have agreed to the accord. And it will also include elements of info sharing, so that at different times there will be surveillance centers where you have people who are trained, and they'll be able to treat information, and it will be on a real-time basis if all this come into being. There'll also be joint surveillance of the maritime domain of the different member states. They also will have capacity building of the maritime security personnel, appropriate equipment for the personnel to constitute effective deterrent, and they're also talking of adopting and harmonizing appropriate legislative framework to be able to arrest and punish those who are arrested. It is also very important that, and it's a realization that the countries of the region have accepted, that no country of the region can do this without assistance from outside. First, they have to pull their resources together, and they also have to be assisted by international partners as well as members of the international community. So there is the need for assistance from partners and the international community, and this will be geared towards improving the security situation in the Gulf of Green region. Assistance in training of personnel, which the United States, I must say, has been doing, and acquisition of equipment, platforms, in consonance with the UNSC Resolution 2039, which actually recommended an international support for the countries of the region. It is obvious that a coordinated common maritime strategy for the Atlantic region may be the long-term objective, but in the short term, each region of the Atlantic space can be encouraged to have and implement a common regional maritime strategy, maritime security strategy, that will ensure that the maritime domain is well policed and that there is effective surveillance which will rid the region of all the elements of criminality. I thank you, Mr. Chairman.